Good morning, everyone. Positive Pat here. It is Saturday, December 2023. So, Merry Christmas Eve. Really excited about Christmas. I'm telling you guys, I'm a nut about this stuff. So, I'm still reading in Richard and Bowles' What Color is Your Parachute? And I'm on the third petal of what he calls the flower exercise. So, it's this badass exercise you go through, very, very big, deep self evaluation that you do. And this one that I'm on is on transferable skill sets. So, what he has you do as an exercise for the transferable skill sets to really find what those are for yourself and which ones you really enjoy is to actually go through and write 7 stories from something in your past. So this could be, anything that you were really going for. And so the main items that he's trying to get out of this are 5 different things. So 1, what goal you wanted to accomplish, whatever that was, what struggles or hurdles or constraints you faced towards that, a description of what you did step by step to ultimately achieve that goal, what the outcome was of that goal, and then past that, if you can quantify or put any metrics to whatever the outcome was, the statement of that outcome. So there's the reasoning for doing so many of these stories. He wants you to do 7 of them, is that it's supposed to really get you to think, okay, of these stories I've written about my past, what are the patterns here, right? What am I really seeing as the repetitive skill sets? And then you pick out the ones that you really enjoy. And so he says, you have to do a minimum of 5 before you start to see those patterns. And if you're only doing 1 or 2, you're going to miss a lot of skill sets you probably do possess that could be very valuable for the type of work that ultimately you're trying to do. So the story that I wrote about this morning was when I decided to form a band. So in 2017, I had been playing drums since 16 years old, kind of off and on, not really trying to do that professionally. And after trying to do corporate America for 4 years, got skill sets in that and learned a lot, but it was not ultimately what I wanted to do in life, is have that type of work and work environment. I knew that much. And so then I started my own business, completely failed at that. Started trying to pick up different drumming gigs just because I knew I was a good enough player that I could get a few gigs here and there in churches and things. And then ended up moving back home to my parents. And after several more years of playing daily for 4 or 5, 6 hours sometimes straight, practicing on everything, rudiments, learning songs, different genres, just listening to music for 2 hours at a time, then I started really trying to pursue this thing. And I had done some landscaping, so the landscaping allowed me to kind of supplement that income. It was just me and my truck and tools. And ultimately, that led me to when I started really going out there and, banging up drumming business cards for myself, posting on Craigslist, trying to find musicians that were like-minded that would want to start a band, or even just trying to join a band that I really identified with the genre and how the guys or gals were in the band and everything. So in 2017 is when the big push really started. And in that year is when my wife introduced me, told me to reach out to this one bass player named Zach. And so I did that, and he had made a post on Facebook. I commented on it. Ultimately, we ended up getting together. It went great. And then we found our sax player, and then by a Craigslist post of all things, we found our other 2 initial members. Both played guitar, and then one ended up switching to trombone because we wanted a more full horn line. So as I was writing out this story, I started to see, oh man, this really does work. I'm starting to see the skill sets here, right? I was very persistent. I had to learn how to communicate well and express the idea for what I was trying to form. I had to continually find new ways to basically market myself for what I was trying to do. I was going to open mics every single week, multiple ones, having the drumming business cards, giving them out to people, posting online about forming bands on Craigslist, posting forms that I would fill out, kind of flyers to put in music stores or coffee shops or whatever, just anything that I could do, and telling people that this was what I was trying to do. So the struggle that I faced was, it just took a lot of time. I tried to form bands. A lot of times I didn't align with the guys, just wasn't a right fit, or they were wanting to do something totally different as far as the genre. There were a whole lot of obstacles there, but the outcome was fantastic. So after we formed the band, probably 2.5, maybe 3 months of rehearsals, we had our first gig in a garage of my then rental house. And then fast forward to within that calendar year, we had played 60 gigs and opened for about half a dozen regional bands, which is not something easy to do when you're first starting out, especially as an original act. So that was huge, and I did it because I went through all these, the struggles of trying to make that happen. So it was a great way, doing this story, of going back and looking at the skill sets that you know I had to use or were even developed throughout that process of wanting to form a band. So highly recommend that you guys work through that. That's just a great fun exercise to do anyways. You don't have to be a writer. I'm not a writer, but he talks about in the book how, you know, everyone's a writer. You text every day, you post on social media. There's probably emails that you're sending in your work, right? You're already writing. All you're doing is just doing a self-reflection of these different stories that really allow you to see, okay, what are these different skill sets that, you know, I can come up with. And then after so many stories you've written about your past, you're going to start to see what those repetitive skill sets are. And those are the ones that you want to capitalize on. So everyone have an awesome Saturday. I hope everyone's doing great. Good morning. I will see you later.